jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Good morning, everyone. Salute. Big shout out to the supporters of WCS. Much appreciated. Had to wait till the power get back the way it's supposed to over this way. For some crazy, some odd reason, man, people can't drive down here. But, man, we on deck. First in the building, Christopher White. Salute WCS. Can't wait for the hot grease. What's good? Terrence Crawford has that eye of the tiger. No doubt, the XO factory on deck. OGW says I'm on deck for some hot grease in the AM, big bro. Shout out to the XO factory in the building. Samad Warren, good morning. Peace and blessings, beloved. Salute WCS. Certified stamp, the like button. Yes, sir, indeed. Cape Man P on deck. You already know what it is. Let me put these, you know what I'm saying, frontliners. Let me put the frontliners on deck early in the morning. Gonna march all day till the day is done. A singing low, right or left, right. Samar said 19 days to Judgment Day. And Terrence Bud Crawford will be two times undisputed world champion. Two times. Two times undisputed. First undisputed welterweight world champion in the 4-belt era. First ballot Hall of Famer. And number one best fighter in the world. That is a lot to unpack for the aerosexuals this morning. Hopefully you are satisfied with what's being presented to you this morning. Don't say we never did anything. We never did anything for you. Because this right here is what you need to open up your week there, aerosexuals. You need that content. You feel me? You need the content to remind you of how detrimental this is going to be. You know what I'm saying? School is in session. Appreciate that, Samar. Man, hey, I don't think they're going to be able to carry out the rest of their week, man. Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing that go on deck. What's good with you, bro? Salute to Big Blunts. Carlos Rosado. Salute WCS. Salute chat. Salute to you, big dog, in the building. Haynes Legacy on deck this morning. Big shout out to you, man, and the fam. You know what it is. On deck, new week, closer to the day, the day of reckoning. You know what I'm saying? One half. We are actually in one half of the final 2 weeks of training. We are actually in the one half of the final weeks of training. They only have this week and next week, and it is over. It is over. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to touch on some things that might still be concerning a lot of you, that WCS has to make it. I have to bring it to your attention. You know, like always, I just have to make it a point. You know what I'm saying? Of what may be going on over there in the camp right now. Don Vaughn in the building. Salute WCS in the chat. What's good? What's good? Don Juan on deck this Monday. WJ Luckett, I see you. He said WCS, hashtag fish fry, hashtag 2-time undisputed, hashtag fish fry, hashtag 2-time undisputed. Yes, sir. I see y'all already set for this week, man. Y'all already been in the spirit. Period. I haven't had to get anybody motivated, but I do have some information that might get you a little bit more motivated. And call it what it is. I just call it, instructional, for instructional purposes only. I have to put that out there, just like they put the copyright claim. This live stream is for instructional purposes only. So please, there's been a lot of you that's very, very active in leaving all these comments, man. Y'all have absolutely proved my point that you all have been in hiding the whole time like meerkats, groundhogs. You've been peeking your head out from the little surface, from the barrels, looking and checking the area. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. But I want to touch bases on the reaction to 24/7 access, 24 access. I mean, access, all access, right? And I know they just visiting, fight camps. This is going to be another all access before it all happens, right? But Caps in full G in the building. What's good with the Caps in full G on deck? I see you, brother. I see you in the building. Salute to you. Arrow's going to try and smoke on this bud and pass out. We having a fish fry on the 29th. Hey, man, they can try to smoke this bud all they want, as long as he has the lungs. Okay, Carlos? As long as Arrow has his cardio. I don't want to hear no excuses that you were smoking on whatever bud strain that you had over there in Texas, and you smoked a little bit too much of it while you were supposed to be working out. You know what I'm saying? I saw a fanboy comment, Spence punches like Joe Louis. They delusional. See, hey. See, they making us into people that we're not actually are in civilian life, Don. What I mean by that, these dudes, the shit they say, they make us look like we're actually professors and scholars and some of the highest. I'm talking about some of the most well-respected brain surgeons in the world, because it takes us little to no time to prognose them with mental and psychological disabilities. You know what I'm saying? That's just from observation. That's from mannerisms and behavior. Anybody that's trying to compare this man to Joe Louis now needs to stop. You need to stop the motherfucking press. And that's not all. All of a sudden, they're saying that Spence is got all this power. And I'm saying to myself, where? Where did y'all see this at? During the pandemic? Was it after you had your booster shot? Was it when they was forcing us to get the vaccines? I'm just trying to find out, which one did you get? Did you get the vaccine out of a mobile, dairy truck, ice cream truck, that was driving around the area? Did you go to a Target, or did you go where you were supposed to, your primary care physician? These cats are suffering the residual effects of something mind altering. I'm serious. They trying to compare Errol Spence to all these dang greats. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. But like I said before, the ones who are the Crawford supporters, man, just hold true, man. Just be patient. Remember, composure is everything in the eye of the storm. You know what I'm saying? Just relax. Just listen. Just take in the intel. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them brainwash you with all this contaminant pollutants that they talking about, trying to compare Spence to all these greats. Don't do it. Shout out to ITC Boxing, to you. One love to the Archbishop WCS in the chat. For I am here to hear the good news of boxing and to layeth the hands Can I get an amen this morning? Amen. Shout out to the apostles on deck. Omaha's own in the building. Don Vaughn, one half of the apostles. Yes, sir. You know, you see one apostle, you got to salute them all. You know what I'm saying? You got to salute them all. Salute moderators. Y'all go hard. Yes, sir. Shout out to your Haynes Legacy. Hope all is well on your end, big dog. Shout out to Toby Bartley from across the waterways into the friendly skies. Salute WCS in the chat. We're global, baby. We're global. Absolutely. You already know what it is. We are a day closer to the Armageddon that will take place in Vegas. And the WCS is going to touch bases on some turbulence. Some turbulence. It's, you know what I'm saying? I love just speaking on situations that people may potentially learn from. I feel it's important on what I'm about to talk about this morning because it's going to be extremely imperative that y'all hear what I have to say and why it may be affecting the Spence camp, as we know. I don't know what they're doing over there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they have going on over there right now, but I know it should be hot. I already know from all access the Bud is probably, already worked out twice already. You know what I'm saying? He probably worked out twice already. He probably getting ready for a third workout. I don't know. I know he's out there somewhere in elevation, floating around in the clouds. You know what I'm saying? While Errol Spence is probably doing this. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying there's sightings. This is not an old picture. This is fairly new. This is fairly new, dog. Errol Spence is relaxing on the outdoor furniture, the outdoor patio furniture, because he needs his rest. You know what I'm saying? He's once again on social media, checking the comments, checking what WCS has to say. And from the looks of it, I don't know what type of shape he's in. All I know is his posture and the way he has that left hand. I'm going to tell you, Spence, just like you looked at Udinas Ugas and he was chilling with his wife and he was doing all these videos and you say, oh, he comfortable. He comfortable. I'm going to use that same one on you, Spence. You look very comfortable. You just sitting out here with your hand propped up, looking at Twitter. Why aren't you working, man? Because I can't find Bud Crawford sitting around by himself, dog. I can't see it. Every picture, every video, I see him in there with the team. Now, there might be moments where he's leaving the toilet, okay? Leaving the bathroom area, el baño. He may be leaving the bathroom area where there just happened to be somebody recording. They said, oh, champ. Okay, I didn't know where you were, man. You was in the bathroom. Okay. And they caught him walking out the bathroom by himself. But I'm thinking if he's in the open area, you know what I'm saying? There's something going on. He might be shadow boxing. He might be getting ready to eat. He might be getting ready to leave. Something's going on. But see right here, Spencer's just sitting back, relaxing. I say, Dad, go right there. Dad, go. Errol Spence is so comfortable. Look how his left hand. That's supposed to be the hand of all hands. The one that's going to do it all from the southpaw, right? Right? His jab hand is on the phone. I hope that jab hand ain't complacent as it look right now. Because who said you're supposed to be on the phone? Dude, you still got weight to lose. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's taking that picture, they're not doing you no justice, big dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's good to put content out here. Real talk. It's good to put content, but like you said about Ugas there, Spence, you look a little bit too comfortable for me heading into one of the most important fights of this year. You know what I'm saying? You look a little bit too comfortable for me, brother. Your arm just sitting up there resting. Your jab hand is on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Twitter boxing. You know what I'm saying? Flipping and twiddling through the freaking comments and all that. That's not what you're supposed to be doing right now. You're supposed to be goddamn intensively in between workouts, going over fight footage with Derrick James. Oh, my bad. My bad. Derrick James don't watch film. Oh, my fault. My fault. It's not close enough to the fight for him to start watching film. I get it. I get it. My bad. Who am I to forget that he said he don't watch boxing? So it makes all the sense in the world why Derrick James is nowhere to be found in this frame. And people don't even try it. He is not the one taking the picture. Don't try it, man. Do not try it. All I'm saying is, for a fight of this magnitude, when I look at All Access, Crawford is just doing things that champions that's heading into the battlegrounds, man. That's heading to war. They always have people around them because that's what teams do. That's what tactical formations do. They move as a unit. Unit. They move as a unit. I'm not looking at a unit right here. I'm looking at a person. If I was in combat right now and I seen one of my comrades over there, that means my comrade has probably just finished eating chow. He's in a non-intensive situation where he's just chilling, relaxing. He don't have to worry about going outside the wire. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what the vibe that I'm getting from this picture right here. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I just pick up little small, subtle details. Like when he say he seen Ugas out there taking pictures with his girl and he was doing all that. He said, oh yeah, he too comfortable. Well, there's been rumor mill that there's audio. I've heard it. There's audio out there that you pretty much talking about the money, that you're talking about the big paycheck. So not me per se. I'm not taking this route with you, Spence, but it's just been like people believing that you are looking to cash out in this fight. That's not me. I'm not going to go that route. Seriously, I'm not going to put you out there on the slab like that and say you're looking to cash out with Crawford. I don't. But a part of me gets a little fidgety looking at this picture because there's people coming out to Vegas to see you and Terrence Crawford go 1-to-1, mano a mano. It's people that are giving away roof shingles, pawning in roof shingles. You know what I'm saying? Taking copper out of the basement that's unfinished and trying to pawn it in for some extra dollars just so they can have enough money to get to Vegas. It's people that are fans of yours, Spence, that are selling lug nuts. They're taking off certain components that mean a lot to them. You know what I'm saying? They have freaking high-end sports cars. They're snatching emblems off like we used to do back in the day for the Cadillacs and shit like that. They snatch your emblems off and trying to get some money for it. They're going to see if they have some silver around, silver or some gold, some solid silver and gold, so they can pawn that shit in. You know what I'm saying? It's people that got custom mailboxes that's put in on Craigslist to my relocating, need to sell electronic mailbox. You know what I'm saying? $3,000. It's people doing some incredible type shit to come see y'all fight. And then I happen to see this picture right here where you just lounging. It still seems like you have weight to cut. I mean, you really putting all into your nutritionist. You're putting your all into the nutritionist. Now, speaking of your nutritionist, I really don't know if the lines are being crossed or whatever, but I thought you had your nutritionist for your Dinas Ugas. Then your nutritionist has said something to the point where up to this point, you was just doing everything on your own and you was just making food and you was just, cooking up meals, or whoever was doing it for you, cooking up meals at home. But now you have a nutrition. I thought that was the storyline for your Dinas Ugas fight camp. So you trying to tell me you wasn't? Look, how does that work? So you didn't have a nutritionist when you went in there all shredded up against your Dennis Ugas? Because if that's not the case, if that's the case, bro, I got some questions as to how you got so shredded. You know what I'm saying? Your nutritionist kind of like, hey, he was doing everything, and himself, his team was doing everything, and he didn't have really no set diet plan or someone who was educated enough to come up with the meal plans, who was a professional, who knew how to break down the calorie intake, knew what protein, that you need to be eating per day, out this amount of days, and setting weight goals for you to meet while you're on that nutritional plan. I thought that shit was something that you did for Ugas, because people were saying your nutritionist was also the people that was doing your strength and conditioning or something like that. If I don't know, I might be a little bit wrong, but this time you have a nutritionist that's right there in house, but you're not as cut as you are when you was going into the Ugas fight. I'm just trying to put these questions together for answers, you know what I'm saying, for the general public that's listening in to WCS. That's all I'm trying to do. Something just ain't right in this. Looking at you chilling on your phone and the expression on your face, you don't look like you're intensively understanding the severity for who you're facing July 29th, big dog. Okay, let me go through a whole nother piece of information for y'all. So you already know Errol Spence and what his record is. He's undefeated. And I never once said I wish he was this, that, and the other, like I hear the aerosexual say about the Bud Crawford and all that. But let me take you on a little something. You know what I'm saying? I was pretty much, I pride myself on doing a little research and find out information. And for quite some time, I just had my petty bag over here, and then I had my realistic bag over here. Something I said, okay, my realistic bag supposed to be more serious, you know what I'm saying, more attention gaining for my listeners. And then my petty bag is just, well, while I'm in the process of giving them my realistic bag, I can bring out some pettiness too. So I said, okay, hold up for a second. Let me get this out. Let me show you all something. This might be something that's going on inside the Spence camp that y'all not know about. Okay. So let me share screen right quick. And this is for instructional purposes only. So please don't get upset about what you're about to see. Okay. Because I am in no way, shape, or form trying to upset anybody over there in that camp at this point during the training process. But back in the day, I went through the one and only infamous Derrick James. You may know him as the trainer of Errol Spence. You may know him as the guy who came on deck and Errol Spence didn't want anything to do with him. You know what I'm saying? I think that's still the same, but they just, riding along to get along. Derrick James' record was 21-7-1. Okay. Let's just go through a little bit of, kicking rocks through the motherfucking park and telling each other a little bit of story. So back in 1992, September 29th, 1992, the infamous Derrick James came on the scene with a 6-rounder. At this point, Derrick James came on the scene. I believe he came his initial age of boxing when he turned professional. I think it was like 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? Hold on for a second. I think he was like 20 years old. Okay. So he came in there, he fought Ray Haynes at 5 scintillating victories and 12 defeats. Now, don't judge the man. At least Derrick came in his first fight for a 6-rounder. Don't judge the man. Okay. He came in there looking to be somewhat different than the average. He said, I'm starting in, I'm kicking this motherfucker 6. I came in there, boom, he got it. He got it. So then, he kind of lost track, a little bit disorientated. I don't know what was going on. Might be the punches that he was taking before he turned professional. I don't know what was going on back then in 92. I can tell you what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I was lacing up boots and I was doing what I was supposed to do, going back and forth to the Pentagon. I already been there. Okay. He faced a guy named Charles Tuttle. Now, for me, Charles Tuttle, it's no way me and you can have a conversation. And I'm the boxer and I'm saying, hey man, I'm undefeated right now. I just finished, I'm 2-0. And you say, oh, for real? Damn, who you fight, dog? I fought Ray Haynes and a dude named Charles Tuttle. Now, whoever I'm talking to might bust out laughing hysterical like, oh shit, for real? Are you taking the sports serious, bro? So automatically, you should have known you shouldn't have never fought somebody named Charles Tuttle because it doesn't have no toughness in it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Charles Tuttle, how are you supposed to gain recognition out here in the boxing world facing a dude named Charles Tuttle? Tuttle, that's with a 2 T's. Okay, anyway, moving on. I'm Zeb Coleman. Zeb Coleman, he fought a 6-rounder, a UD, right? And I'm not going to go through all this, but my whole point for this is 6-rounder, okay? 6-rounder, question marks all over the place. 8-rounder, okay? 6-rounder, 8-rounder. Derek was all over the place. He goes up to a 10-rounder, all right? And then the infamous first loss of Derek James' career. Now, this is where WCS has reached into his bag of pettiness and basically along with him speaking some realistic facts. The reason why Derek James is extremely skeptical and he's a bit fearful of heading into Vegas because when he decided to face Joe Lipsy, his first fight in Vegas, he was stopped. He was SO. Yes. He was STOPPED. Derek James was stopped, y'all, in a 10-rounder by Joe Lipsy. Okay. Now let me highlight some areas, some skillful areas or some characteristic areas of Derek James. He was an orthodox fighter. All right. Derek James has been set to be over 6 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? And also Joe Lipsy was a southpaw. Okay. So Joe Lipsy was a southpaw who was knocked down early in this fight, but he ended up dropping Derek James in the 8th round and then finishing him in the 9th round. But the reason why I'm mentioning this was Derek James' climactic moment in Vegas to shine at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, and he took a stoppage. Now, I'm not saying that has anything to do with July 29th of Derek James returning back for a fight of this magnitude, being that when he fought Joe Lipsy, it was a non-title fight. But just the inception, we always talking about the inception, it wasn't a good look. DJ, it wasn't a good look, big dog. You went over there and let Joe Lipsy get you up out of there, bro. It wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. So what DJ do? DJ goes back and fight. Calling Tyrone. Call him. This man fought Tyrone 7-8-1. And Erica was like, Derek, you sure you want to do this? Tyrone is not someone that's going to give you the best competition you think because he's in them streets. You know what I'm saying? Tyrone is not really in the gym the way he's supposed. You sure you want to fight him? Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So Derek went and fought Tyrone and went the distance, even when Tyrone was in the streets chilling. Then he went and fought Jeremy Stevens. I don't know what all this question mark shit is, man. What was going on back in the 90s with this box rec shit? And then he fought Concepcion Hernandez in an 8-rounder. He go from a 10-rounder back to an 8-rounder at the International Convention Center, Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? He gets the win. And then he goes on. He goes in there with Otis Grant. Otis Grant seems like to be solid at the time, 25-1. This is for the North American Boxing Federation, middle vacant. And then also, this is one of those supposedly prestigious fight for Derrick James. No, Derrick James said, I'm not feeling this guy, that Otis Grant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you only have one loss, but I don't like you, man. You're a little bit better than I thought. I thought I was coming in here to have a little easy go for the North American Boxing Federation middleweight vacant title. And what James do? He's disqualified for repeated low blows, y'all. See, I can understand what's wrong here, because the last time he stepped on the bright lights in Vegas, he was stopped. So Derrick has been known to be disgruntled for quite a long period of time. He is very grudging when it comes to holding on to being upset about shit. So he came in here hitting the man in the nuts. He came in here hitting the man in the nuts. The man couldn't even goddamn go in there and box. He's obviously worked himself up here, 25-1, to take it serious. But Derrick was saying, no, I'm going for the nutsack, man. I'm gonna try to break in your cup. Derrick was DQ'd. That was a 12-rounder, y'all. Now let this once again. I need to preface this. You understand what you're looking at, right? The 12 round. You're gonna find out that every time Derrick James attempted to face, step up to a 12-round fight, he couldn't get it done. He couldn't get it done. It's just FACTSZZZZZZZZTZZ facts. He would go on to Pedro Montiel, right? Pedro Montiel. That was another 12-rounder. Notice from October 1995, he would step back in the ring in March 31st, 1996, the following year, for another 12-rounder, and he was stopped in 3 rounds. Now, I don't know if him and Spence was hanging out doing this hiatus. I really don't know. From the way Spence was talking in the beginning to my, he really didn't want Derrick James around. I think they made a cross pass during this little hiatus when Derrick was on the losing streak looking for work. I think it was. I think they was just, they cross pass one another, because as you look further up, he didn't have much longer of a window in the forecast in his career. He was trying to figure it out like Spence was. Derrick James and Spence was pretty much doing the same thing in their career, except Spence wasn't taking losses, but he was just trying to find out what his direction was. So he loses to Montiel. He goes on a minimal 2-fight win streak. You know what I'm saying? He's back up to 10 rounds. He get a stoppage. A guy with a whopping 0-3 wins. Take a moment. Take a moment, people. Just take a moment. I want you all to let that soak in, because, Derrick James tend to just be upset about the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? Just take a moment. Let that soak in right quick. When Derrick James is this far into your career, you know what I'm saying? This far in your career, you're fighting the guy, Daniel Holloway, and he's 0-3, and you're fighting for a 10-rounder. That's after coming off a loss to a 2-3 Montiel, which you stopped in 3 rounds. Which he stopped you in 3 rounds. Montiel was 2-3, and he stopped Derrick James in 3 rounds. Montiel was 2-3, and he stopped Derrick James in 3 rounds. Okay, he goes on to face Daniel Holloway, who doesn't have any wins at the time. He fights him in his backyard, and he gets the win. Whoopee! Man, you are a world beater. God damn. Let's keep it moving. I don't want to be extremely petty on this shit. I'm just trying to wake y'all ass up on this Monday and give you some to take you through the early morning onto your lunch break. All right. Paul Jones, y'all. Check this out now. This is a trainer of the year. This is the guy who you all are expecting to go in there July 29th and come up with all the master plans on how to beat Terrence Bud Crawford. This man fought 5-7-2. Paul Jones. Paul Jones. 5-7-2. 5-7-2 for a 6-rounder. Yes, I said a 6-rounder, y'all. His last fight against Daniel Holloway was a 10-rounder, but then he went and fought a 6-rounder. Do you see the similar infractions that is going on with the way Spence was going through his career, trying to find out what he wanted to do? And birds of a feather definitely land and bullshit together. Yeah, that's what you're seeing right here. Look at this, a 6-rounder with Paul Jones. Okay, and then he goes up here. You remember the guy at the beginning of the resume, Tuttle. His name was what was his name? Tuffle. His name was Tuttle, right? So this is a dude called Kenny Wack. When you get down to it, man, I fought a guy, you know what I'm saying? I fought a guy coming off a 6-round win named Kenny Wack. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Wack was in the building in Arizona, Las Vegas. There go that Las Vegas again. Shit. Kenny Wack 15-3-1. Fought Derrick James in the 8th-rounder, and Derrick James lost, y'all, to a guy called Kenny Wack. You feel me? Okay. I know you're saying to yourself right now, God damn. Should WCS be putting out this Area 51 information? No. It's public, bro. It's been out here for the longest time, but I just felt like you gotta itemize and disseminate your content leading up to such a big fight, especially when people are losing their mind talking about, Errol Spence and, what he's going to do. And he's going to come with the master plan and he's going to break, Terrence Crawford mentally, physically, and spiritually. With who telling him the game plan? Who is telling him find it? Find a person outside of this resume that's going to be able to provide him the game plan to go in there and break Crawford mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm being honest with y'all. This man took a L to a Kenny Wack. I say Kenny Wack. I'd like to welcome everybody to the congregation. I got my new suit on. I'm your new pastor. They call me Kenny Wack. Tonight, tomorrow. Yes, I did. I fought Derrick James back in the day and beat his ass. Oh, forgive me, God. I didn't mean to cuss, but my name is Kenny Wack. Man, come on, stop it. Moving on. Come on, stop it. Jared Kemp. Once again, people, Jared Kemp. He was a whopping 1 victory in 4 defeats, y'all. This is the man that's going to give the game plan, y'all, to Terrence Bud Crawford. I mean, let me rephrase that. He's going to somewhat provide the plan to disperse and defeat Terrence Bud Crawford. That's what he's going to do. This is supposed to be the guy, right? The one that was in a suit that had a run-in with Crawford. And Crawford say, what? Huh, nigga? Huh? What? And then Derrick walked away and said, oh, you must think I'm a punk. No, nobody thinks you're a punk. You're a professional fighter at the end of the day. Even though I'm critiquing and going over your resume, in no way, shape, or form, I take it for granted that you was lacing up gloves. And at one point in time, you was fighting on the stage as a professional fighter. Moving on. Kenny Wack. Jared Kemp was 1-4, y'all. Derrick James earned a victory in the 8-rounder in the first round. That surprised me that he was able to get a first-round stoppage over a fighter that was 1-4. Moving on. Another back-to-back loss occurred when he went in there and fought this guy right here. Old Clemenstein. How art thee? Old Clemenstein. How are you? So he fought old Clemenstein somewhere on some planet that was close to Earth that you didn't need your passport to travel to. And they have just enough oxygen over there on that planet for you to be able to go in there and fight. So Clemenstein, you know what I'm saying, welcome Derrick James over there to this planet, and for an 8-rounder, and lost a split decision. It was said the reason why they went split decision is because the oxygen level was a little bit depleted. You know what I'm saying? And Derrick James couldn't get his jab working, to start off the fight, because he's known for the jab. So let's go on to James. Let's go to James Lubabwa. Yeah. Seems like Wawa gas station was in full attendance, 10-0 in Charlotte. Okay. And what is that again? Another TKO? Yeah. So Derrick James was stopped again by a guy called James Lubabwa. Nah. You want a bamba? You want to roll with a pink line? You want to dance with a pink boy? James Lubabwa. I think I'm like, I mean, I don't know what I'm reading right here. Charlotte, TKO again, back-to-back losses. I mean, is this a trend? But moving on, he goes from an 8 down to a 4-rounder. He's fighting old Wesley Martin. Wesley Martin is going to give you everything he got. He was raised on a farm. Wesley Martin was what you call one of them country kids that did everything he was supposed to do. He was a law-abiding citizen of the county of Centennial, Dallas. So during that time, him being a agricultural connoisseur, he was boxing part-time. So that explains why Wesley was a whopping 14 victories, 35. I didn't. Let me put my moonshine down right quick. Wesley Martin, his 35 defeats was sometime he could have won about 4 or 5 of them. Okay, but the moonshine was still carrying over from his leisure recreational activities, people. So he was 14 victories, 35 defeats, and 8 draws. And now I'm gonna give you a little secret about Wesley Martin. The only reason he got them draws was because his opponent that day was his drinking partners too. They was both fucked up. So they said, let's go get this money, man. That's what we do. So we can get back to this farm and tend to these livestock in here. Wesley Martin was 14, whopping 14 victories, 35 defeats, 8 draws. And Derrick James was able to win a 4-rounder unanimous decision. Wow. Unbelievable. And this was April 11, 2003. This is about 8 years removed, I believe, until Errol Spence was about to make his professional debut as an Olympian. How could he have known that him and Derrick James will have parallels in this boxing community? So after he won a grand unanimous decision over Wesley Martin, he moved on to Felix Cora Jr. He went to a draw. Now, this was just 2 months later. He fought a 6-rounder. Okay. What a tough fight. Felix was 10-0, and he got a draw, a split decision draw. Unbelievable. I mean, he was really throwing them punch combinations the way you would like. For real. He's really turning his career around. He goes back to a 6-rounder. Jeremy Stevens, 9-25-3. 9-25-3. And come to find out, Jeremy Stevens was one of the guys who was part of the draw down here with Wesley Martin. And there was a drinking partner that had once upon a time, basically fought with Wesley Martin, as a drinking partner, and they was moving around. So that explains why Jeremy Stevens was pretty much 9-25-3 and had multiple losses like Wesley Martin. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So keep it in the family. Let's go to James Johnson, 20-22-2. Dallas. These fights are in Dallas now. That moonshine was good back then, shawty. We're talking about August 19, 2006. This is 2 years before Terrence Bud Crawford was about to turn professional, y'all. Now, listen. There's a lot of things that should have took place at this point in time that could have changed the whole scope. If Derrick, would have been somewhere in Omaha, Maybe he could have got some training from a boxing coach over there, in Omaha to turn his career around. He could have been on the right side of things leading into this fight. You know what I'm saying? He could have been over there in Omaha. He could have never had a run in, with Team Spence. He could have been accepted with open arms. Man, I respect what you did, man. You know what I'm saying, Derek? I respect what you did and everything. We can pretty much try to get your career on the right track, being you almost out the door, but that didn't happen. So in 2006, he fought James Johnson, who also was one of the Moonshine comrades when it came down to these guys who had multiple losses, right? He had 22 losses. He was a Moonshine connoisseur over in Dallas. And it was a 6-rounder, okay? Not to spend too much time on James Johnson, but it was a 6-rounder. Trenice Brown. Whenever you hear somebody with the name Trenice, you know they are vicious. Hey, man, my name motherfucking Trenice, man. What you laughing for, man? Put some respect on Trenice. No, hold up, bro. You got it all wrong. I heard Trenice, and it took me back to my auntie. I got an auntie named Triana. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to get either one of y'all. No, man, it seemed like you trying to play me, dog. No, man, it's like I can't get my auntie out of my head when I hear Trenice. Nigga, what's your record? 4-7. Hey, dude, we can't have no conversation, man. I can't take you serious. But I know you fight one of my people that you know. You fighting Derrick James, right? So Derrick James gets a 4-round victory from Trenice. You know what I'm saying? Brown, vicious. Whenever you hear Trenice, man, I want you to grab a freaking some type of popsicle. You know what I'm saying? Some type of freaking snack. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't get that vibe, that vicious vibe when it comes to boxing. You know what I'm saying? When you hear Trenice, hey man, so-and-so facing Trenice Brown. You know Derrick James faced Trenice Brown in a 6-rounder? It's not going to make you put down the spoon when you eating your sundae and say, hold up for a second. Let me take a little time. I don't want my shit to melt. So you trying to tell me Derrick James fought that killer Trenice? Yeah, man, that nigga hard, boy. Trenice didn't fucking play, dog. For real? Damn, I'm gonna have to check out that footage on YouTube. No, that shit ain't on YouTube, dog. No, they ain't put that shit on YouTube. So he goes on to fight Tim Harris, right? Tim Harris had a whopping 2 and 3 losses, y'all. A no contest. Moving on. He goes in there from April 21, 2007 to August 2nd, 2007 at the Grand Plaza Hotel, Houston. And Chris Henry is sitting at a 20-0. This is extremely important, right? This is extremely important because we're a year out from Terrence Crawford making his grand entrance into the sport of professional boxing. At this point in time, Derrick James is experiencing exactly what's about to happen on July 29th. Derrick James is going in here against Chris Henry in Houston, a man that is undefeated. And as World Combat Sports has always put out there, I don't think this fight is going past 6 rounds. So that's why I hold near and dear to my heart of Chris Henry, because he got Derrick James up out of there in 6 rounds. You know what I'm saying? And this is for titles, the North American Boxing Association, light heavyweight, and North American Boxing Federation. See, I understand there was different weight classes. I got it. But my whole point to tie this all in and the parallels to be, and using my imaginative compilation, putting these little, slides, these different snapshot slides together, it has brought me to Chris Henry being 20-0 and stopping Derrick James in 6 rounds, y'all. In 6 rounds. Stop that man. This would be the second to last fight prior to him stepping in there with Martin Verdine in Dallas in a 6-rounder. Once again, from a 12-rounder to a 6-rounder. Derrick James don't have a solid, he doesn't have a polished track record when it comes to 12-round fights. But his last fight was a 6-rounder, y'all. Look, I'm gonna be petty once again because I told you it's an opportune time that needs to be put out there. Do you know him and Terrence Crawford was right around the same experience level when it came to the amount of rounds they was fighting at this time? Because Terrence Crawford came in March 2008, if I'm not mistaken, and he was fighting a 4-rounder. Derrick James is already on the back end of his career, and him and Crawford was pretty much in the same grid square of rounds that they was fighting. Crawford was in round 4, and Derrick James is in round 6. And you're gonna be the one, Derrick James. You're gonna be the one to come up with the master plan. Come on, come on, Derrick. Let your big bro, man. Let your big bro break some shit down to you, Derrick. DJ, your last fight was a 6-rounder. You're gonna be the one to give this master plan on how to get Spence to break down Crawford. Are you going to be the one to think, to plan, to organize, and execute a fight plan to go in here and defeat Terrence Crawford based off what I have just went over with my listeners? Are you saying that you're capable just because you had 2 unified champions in your stable, thanks to the advisor making everything happen and some pretty athletic fighters? You're saying at this point in time, the biggest fight, anything you ever been in, this fight is bigger than Castano. This fight is bigger than Yordenis Ugas. This fight is bigger than Sean Porter. You're trying to convince me and the listeners that based off what we're looking at, Derrick James, based off WCS holding you accountable for saying Bud Crawford ain't fight nobody. You have the audacity. You have the audacity to talk about someone that ain't fought nobody. As a coach, you need to maintain some freaking jurisdiction. You need to maintain some integrity there, Derrick James. You coming out your mouth talking about Crawford ain't fought nobody. You don't even want to recognize. You frustrated because you remember what you had to go through, that you weren't living up to the standards of being an elite fighter. Yeah, you can probably throw hands to the average guy walking out the freaking bar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you probably still got a little bit. You in shape. You know what I'm saying? You 50 what? 51 years old? Something like that. 50 years old, 51 years old. You probably still got a punch or two here and there. But when I'm looking at your body of work, when it comes to the boxing, I just remember how disgruntled you was every time someone was up there talking about Crawford, you know, having a 10 fight, I mean, a 10 fight, a 10 streak, 10 fight streak, whatever you want to phrase it, 10 streak knockout. You cut him off quickly. Who you talking about? Who you talking about? Who you talking about? Oh, man, he ain't fought nobody. Look at your body of work, bro. Look at your resume, Derrick. You're not making any sense. And then you want to cut it short. You want to cut it short when it comes down to Terrence Crawford vying, competing, challenging to become 2-time undisputed. You say Teofimo Lopez had already did it, which made you look even more punchy. Because, you know, if I'm looking at your body of work and I gaze over to the right side of the middle of your ledger and I identify the colors of green is winning, red is losing, and 1 is like, yeah, okay, whatever. If I'm looking at the 7 losses, 4 of the 7, 4 of the 7 are stoppages. 4 of the 7 is stoppages. See, I've been waiting to address this at the right time because I remember how agitated you were when you was in Beverly Hills, and you know how quickly you want to front on Crawford about his body of work like he ain't did shit. But as a coach and trainer, I'm not saying you don't have a right to your freedom of speech, but you should have some understanding that if you're going to sit up here and dilute what Crawford achievements have done, when you and him was in the same grid square, when he was coming into the sport of boxing, you was on your last fight, and you all was damn near in the same grid square of fighting the same rounds when Crawford was coming in for his first fight and you was leaving the sport. You know what, Derrick James? You don't have no. When I talk about no room, I'm talking about you don't even have your first constitutional right in this freaking conversation right here. You shouldn't even open or crack your fucking lips, dog. Your inconsistency in your boxing ledger is trash, bro. And you're up here criticizing, dogging the shit out of Crawford, and he ain't fought nobody. Dude, look at the people you was fighting. 15 and 13 and 1 is your last fight in a 6-rounder, bro. And you are the one that's gonna come up with this plan to beat Crawford. Man, this shit is bogus, man. You fooling them people over there. Yeah, you might be a staple in Dallas right now, but a lot of them niggas ain't telling you straight up that, hey, man, you out of pocket, out of line. There's a lot of things you out of common sense, because common sense would tell me as a fighter, I'm just talking from a trainer's perspective. Maybe you should preface the beginning when you start to dog out Crawford's resume. Maybe you say, you know what, I'm just prefacing this as a trainer. Okay. I know my resume was absolutely trash. And the way I went through and was disorganized and everything like that in 2022, 9 and 25, 14, 35, 10, and 14, 14, 42, and 5. Sound like a goddamn boxing auction. 1 and 1 and 4, 15 and 53, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7 and 2, 0, 0, 3, 2. Give me 2 and 3 and 25 and 1, 25 and 1, 10, 11, 10, 11. Give me 9 and 12, 1 and 7, 8 and 1. Sound like a boxing auction up here, boy. They want to auction off all this shit that they looking at and clean your shit up. They want to say, you know, we got to do a renovation. If this man is going to be a trainer in Texas, man, we got to do a goddamn boxing ledger renovation up in this bitch. We got to get the funding. We got to get the funding approval or something. Because this dude, the way he was talking about Crawford shit, he ain't fought nobody. How dare you, bro? How dare you talk about this man's resume? How dare you, Derrick? Let me get to the chat, man. Let me get to the chat. I had to cook, man. I had to get the hot grease, you know, because if I wait too long, then I'll never get back to it. Bruce Gas, Boxer Jackson, more Gertz on deck. Mr. Hot Grease, aka Mr. Sucker Free on deck. Salute, Bruce Gas. Big shout out to my bro Gumbo, man. You can make a lot of spaghetti with this resume. Man, talk to him, man. It's all full of carbs, huh? Hella ones, for real. Salute to you being on deck. You know what I'm saying? Toby Bartley, what's good? Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, AK Showtime Shaw on deck. Salute to you, brother. What's good with the team tuck in the building? Derrick had the nerve to say, Crawford fight nobodies. Man, you can't make this shit up. Hey, man, I had to, if you know, when the grease is hot, you got to cook them all the way through and through. You got to flip them over and make sure both sides are cooked equally. And that's what I was doing this morning. I want to make sure that you all who are paying close attention to this fight come July 29th, I wanted you to know that not every pilot is qualified to operate. travel plans. Not every pilot is qualified to operate travel plans. Derek James supposed to be one that's taking Errol Spence from Texas all the way into Las Vegas with this master plan to beat Crawford. Stop it, man. Not everybody is qualified for that shit. Derek is living through Errol. That's why he's going at Bud as if he's the one fighting, because secretly DJ always wanted to be in the exact position as a fighter. Ooh. God damn. You talking about you trying to put this information out there on a Monday, Carlos? You trying to do this shit on a Monday and not a Friday? Come on, man. You trying to turn up already? You must have heard the club goes up on a Tuesday. That's what you've been watching, man. For real. Your weekend is bleeding over into Monday. For real. You're about to get the team Spence worship with either emotional breakdown, the God coach. Hey, man, how? Looking at what you're looking at, and Bud Crawford was on his way into the professional ranks, and you are fighting a 6-rounder when Bud came in here and fought an undefeated fighter in a 4-rounder. How are you to even crack and use your tongue to speak so malice? You know what I'm saying? So antagonistic, so malicious. How are you to do that? And you went through your whole career, and your last fight is right back down where you started. So the growth was never something that was permanent for you. You didn't continue to grow and grow and grow and produce fruit in the branches that was supposed to get you where you need to be in boxing. So how are you going to pilot Errol into Vegas with a solid game plan that's going to allow this man to basically believe the shit he was talking? How he was going to go in there and break. He said he's going to break Crawford with a record from a coach who couldn't even get himself locked in to have a productive career to brag about at this point in time. You should have said, I have no ideal. I remain silent. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. But so you don't have nothing to say about, Crawford having 10 straight knockouts. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right, the right to remain silent due to inadequate information that will allow me to be qualified to speak that Crawford hasn't fought nobody due to my own record being trash. Okay? I am disqualified to speak on it. Now, partially, I can talk as a professional boxer, but I am not at liberty to discuss how I truly feel, my disdain for Crawford. That's what you should have said. I know he's done good things in his career, but I am still extremely upset. Why? Because I wasn't able to do what, Errol Spence has been done. It's just like someone said, he's living through his coach. Yes, we all know he's living vicariously through Spence. He's living vicariously through Jamel Charlo. Come on, man. Y'all are smart. That's why GJ said he'd rather get knocked out. WCS brought the facts to be the light. Hey, man. Hey, Showtime, he say, man, I'd rather get knocked out. I don't want to take punishment, dog. Look, Joe Lipsy changed that man. Hey, Joe Lipsy took him to the 9th round, bro. And he's like, shit, Joe was putting them hands on me. I don't want to go through that again. So when it came time for him to have a tough fight, this, that, and the other, that man checked out. Yes. I was in the room that was in the main arena. Yeah. I'm here to check out, please. Why are you charging me for incidentals? Oh, because, the DNA was all over the canvas. We have to get that clean. The blood and everything, saliva, stuff like that. We have to sanitize the area. So we have to charge you incidentals for that. And also when you fell in the corner, you kind of cracked the ring buckle, the turnbuckle in there, somewhat like Ricky Hatton did when Floyd Mayweather check hooked him. Yeah, that you have to pay for that. I mean, real talk. I don't know if they put it in the contract, but we're going to charge you about $800 in incidentals. Okay. Is that okay, Mr. James? Okay, that's what I thought. Now, anything else? All right, have a good day, bro. W says got the hot acid on today. Not hot grease. I got my acid protection gear on. Keep pouring, WCS. Hey, man, this is goddamn Operation Hazmat, Decimod. This is Operation Hazmat, hazardous material today. I try to tell people, I say, man, they say, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? I know you got to spread it out. You got to spread that shit out. You got to make sure it remains, hot, leading up to the fight. And I just remember hearing him, go at Crawford the way he did, and talking about T.O. already did it. And I say, this nigga, man, Derrick James, he's a hater. He's a hater, bro. And then let's talk about good old Errol Spence. Let's get back on good old Errol Spence. For you, Errol Spence, okay? And look, this is nothing personal. I'm talking about your boxing. For you even to pick a dude with a resume like this, what does it says about you, bro? You had more of an illustrious background. All right. You did, Spence. You went to the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? What were you looking up to when it comes to Derrick James? What attracted you to basically make the decision that, hey, I want this guy? You should have went off your better instinct when you found out his box wreck. You should have about face forward. How much I love Freud, love Freud. You should have marched in the opposite direction, Spence. You never should have picked no Derrick James when you know you wanted to have a moment like this. Hey, Spence, I'm gonna tell you something straight up, man. Black man to black man. Derrick James ain't got it, bro. He ain't the one you need walking into this motherfucking ass whooping. You can talk all that shit all you want. 2 weeks out, big dog, and the training is over, and then you got fight week. Listen, man, Derrick James ain't it, bro. You can get mad all you want. You can say that the YTC is this, that, and the other. YouTubers is this. I'm just speaking for myself on some boxing shit, dog. This is just my opinion. Derrick James ain't the one to get you to where you need to do. He ain't the one to push you past the threshold when you need to come up with something different. You need a plan D, E, F, G, elemental P. He ain't the one to give you that. Now, he might try to slide you that Gatorade baller that y'all don't supposed to have, but goddamn it, I already got my people on to that. We ain't sliding in no Gatorade baller that don't supposed to be there. But I'm talking about when it comes to body of work, resume, I have to hold you accountable just like him there, Spence. Why did you choose this guy as your coach? You know. Come on, Spence, you know where I'm about to go with it. How can you, Spence, criticize Terrence Crawford's resume? How? When you have a guy that's in your corner that you don't have nothing to look back on. Y'all can criticize the other side of you. I'm talking about you, Spence. You said that y'all didn't speak for 2 years. During that 2 years, you was contemplating on trying to find another coach. What happened? What made you lock in and say, yeah? Was it for the convenience of him being a Dallas native or something like that, and him being over there in Dallas? Bro, why did you choose to stay with the guy who had a boxing resume like this, knowing that he has limitations on how to get you to a place that he never experienced, Spence? Derrick James never experienced. I'm not talking about Bomac. Because I know people are quick to say, oh, you talking about no. We're talking about strictly Derrick James opening his mouth to discard the accomplishments of what Crawford has been able to achieve up to this point. He was speaking as if, as a professional fighter, when you look at his resume, you're going to say, ooh and ah. Yeah, you are. Especially if you got some yak. You can say, oh, shit. Tuttle. For real? Trinice? Oh, look at these numbers, man. These numbers. Wow. These numbers. Who was his matchmaker? Because once again, I must bring up the information that makes sense to me when Errol Spence has said the Top Rank had good matchmakers. Who is matchmaking your coach, Spence? Who is matchmaking your coach? And do you respect him for taking those matchups? If you're talking about Top Rank had good matchmakers, who in the hell was matchmaking your coach? And since he was fighting competition that I don't even know what the hell he was thinking, how is he to take anything he's learned in boxing and prepare you for a fighter that's on the level of Terrence Bud Crawford? How is Derek gonna tell you that shit? It's gonna take more than Mitch. It's gonna take more than Ugas. It's gonna take more than freaking Sean Porter. I mean, come on, bro. How are you looking to gain this information? Let me get this. Let me stop sharing because I've already gave, probably 80% of my listeners PTSD looking at that record. Seriously. How dare you say someone never fought nobody? For real. How Showtime? How is he even mentioning that out of his mouth about resumes? He ain't fought nobody. The way you look, man, you can have on the nicest suit and everything, but it's always going to be a speck on your suit. It's just like wearing a full white suit and you somehow, some way, you have an ink spot on there that you've had on there for a long time that never came out, but the fit of the suit, you like it. It's one of your favorite suits, but that ink spot never goes away. That's your resume, bro. That's your resume. You know what I'm saying? Your resume will always be that ink spot. You're comfortable over there in Texas. You're comfortable. But how can you sit up here and criticize a resume based off the decisions you made coming up as a professional fighter? And how can your last fight be only 2 more rounds than what Terrence Crawford was fighting when he just entered into the professional ranks with an undefeated fighter? Man, you can't teach that, man. You don't have it. You don't got it, bro. You don't have the juice in this, bro. Derek James, you don't have the juice, man. You can't do it. Come on, man. I'm giving you some motivation. You can't do it, bro. You ain't him. You can't come up with the fight plan to beat Crawford. You can't, man. You don't have it in you as a person. For you to make the decisions you did in those type of fights and opponents, and you felt good. You felt good hearing yourself say that he ain't fought nobody when all you have on your resume damn near is nobody's. He's jealous of Bud, shaking my head. Salute Mr. Barley, aka Mr. International. Young Fortune on deck, arrows in fat camp. Hey, man, let me continue to put this back up there for a minute while I'm going through this chat. I just want y'all to understand this, the seriousness, right? I want y'all to understand that I don't think it's one picture where you're going to find Crawford just chilling on the phone. I don't know. He must have just finished eating a PB&J or something. I don't know. He might be a little tired, doing 4 days to lose that weight. I don't know. Burn the Boxer said it best. DJ has no class. Word. Hey, man, how can anybody that competed in boxing and has I'm talking about such a tumultuous, if that's even a word, such a heart, such a banal, such an irrelevant body of work on your resume? How do you dare speak on another man haven't done anything? Well, that man is 39 victories and 0 defeats, dog. And he has more knockouts than your fighter has wins. And you're sitting up here talking about he ain't fought nobody. Bro, that is the biggest. You know how I've been waiting to talk about this shit on your resume? But I said, no, not right now. Not right now. It's too early. It's too early, but now it's a good time. It's a good time. Bud Crawford reminds me of someone that knocked him out. That's why he don't like him. Hey, man, I haven't really took the time to look at the pictures there, Showtime. But you might be on to something. You might motherfucking be on to something, man. I need to find that nigga on his resume that look like Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Because what I did do is look through there and see if he had any opponents on there with the last name Crawford. Okay, I did do that, but you might be on to something. It might be somebody on there that resembles Bud Crawford, and that's why he's so upset. Carlos said, I can't see when Errol get hit solid on that operated eye. No. Hold up, Carlos. He said that shit is stronger than his other eye. You know, he put that to rest. He said it's stronger than his other eye. So we can't worry about that, man. It's not up to us. You know what I'm saying? It's not up to us. He said it's stronger. The operated eye came back stronger. You mean Derek gets flashbacks from one of his OKs every time he sees Bud Crawford? Toby said Errol said his dad had to pay him to get Derek James to teach him. See, the OG, you know, Mr. Spence probably, you know, had crossed paths, you know, being that they're older. They might have had crossed paths back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You know, Spence Senior might have had to take care of some of Derek. He might have seen Derek getting beat up for his money. He's about to step in one of the local sandwich shops, and somebody who's goddamn from his past, man. You know what I'm saying? One of the fighters that gave him the L in the past might have had a flashback, and he came around the corner. He said, "Oh shit!" He went over there and helped him out. He said, "Hey man, I'm gonna do you one better, bro. I don't know why they sitting up here taking your money and shit when you just want to eat. Black man to black man. I got a son that's coming up in the ranks, man. I heard you was a professional boxer back in the day, right? Yeah. I just listen. I don't need you to speak, okay? I just listen. What I'm gonna do, man? I'm gonna see if my son, you know, he's looking for a trainer right now. You know, he's doing big things. He you know, got the Olympics and everything going on. I'm gonna see if you can come in there and train him, because it looked like you ain't doing shit right now, except, you know, people taking your freaking club sandwich money. So I'll go talk to him, and we're gonna get back with you. You here every day? Yeah. Okay. All right. I come back around here. I ain't gonna call you up on the phone. I'm gonna come back around here, and you know, we're gonna talk it out from there. I think that's how that went. Then when Spence and his homeboys did the research, Spence was like, "Nah, man, it's gonna be a bad look for me, man. I don't want this. Nah, bro. No, it ain't nothing he can teach me, bro. Like, me and him don't even fight alike." I heard some people talking about it's some similarities, and man, stop the motherfucking press, man. It ain't one similarity, even with a glove and trunks on, that I get when I see Derek James fight and I saw freaking Errol Spence fight. There's no similarities, bro. It's no similarities, bro, for real. See, when I think of Derek James hooking up with Errol Spence, I think back when black people used to be known for saying, "Hey man, why don't you hook me up? Can you hook me up? Hey man, can you hook me up? Any way you can hook me up, dog?" He's a hook me up trainer. Hey man, for the low, I'm gonna pay for Derek James to come on deck. Hey, just hear me out, son. Hey, hear me out. I'm gonna pay for DJ to come on deck and train you right now. It's not gonna be permanent, nigga. I seen his box rate, nigga. It ain't gonna be permanent. All right. Senior had to break that shit. It ain't gonna be permanent, dog. All right, man. I just know I ain't feeling this dude. Did you hear me, man? I got you. It ain't gonna be permanent. So he got him on deck. And Errol for 2 years. Errol didn't speak to this nigga. Errol didn't speak to DJ. So how in the hell are you gonna come up with a plan to beat this Omaha monster, bro? Dude, I'm coming with everything, bro. Like, I'm trying to find out, how are you able to satisfy the Errol Spence fans and allow them to have confidence, big dog, that you're the one? How, man? Your decision making as a professional fighter leaves a lot of questions, man, without answers. How are you to come up? How's your mentality all of a sudden going to change for Errol Spence to come here and fight somebody that you know damn well that you never met in your boxing career? You never met somebody like this. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much you and Spence was trying to figure out, yeah, somewhat, odd. I'm talking about, they always say, odd. They're track, man. Like, y'all was both trying to figure out what you wanted to do in your career. Even Spence, he was trying to figure out what he wanted to do in his career until he settled down when he fought Alejandro Barra and say, I'll stay and stay the course with 147 pounds. And then that's when you got the Kell Brook fight. But man, Derrick James, I'm just telling you, big dog, I don't know how you're gonna have all the way up to this point. It don't matter who has championships. You are fighting an elite fighter in Crawford who has had his people around him forever. And he will always say, if it ain't broke, he ain't about to fix it. And I don't see you going in here breaking it. And even if you attempted to have a little bit of success with breaking it, Derrick James, I don't think you have to do enough to make it crumble. I don't think you have enough knowledge to make that shit just crumble and absolve and come out the clear victory. I don't think you have what it takes to go in here and say, well, we're banking on Crawford eyes swelling up, because that's what I'm hearing too. I'm hearing people talking about Crawford's eyes swell up easy. Let me get back to the chat, bro. Knockdown 305. What's good? Salute to you. Bud gonna have that eye looking like when Martin fought Tommy Hearns. Derrick is that boxer from Harlem Nights. Oh shit! He says Derrick's that boxer for Harlem Nights. Damn, man, god damn. What's going on, Jason? How you feel, big dog? Jason in the building. Shout out to Samar Warren, man, with the $10 super chat on deck, man. WCS this morning on this Monday. Salute to you, big dog. I appreciate you for supporting Channel One Love. We need to all pitch in for some dookie wipes for Derrick James' boxing record. Now we getting down to it, God damn it. He said pitch in for some dookie wipes because that shit was doo-doo. How dare you speak ill will of Terrence Crawford resume when you yourself know damn well every time, majority of the time you stepped in there, you was just coming off the toilet, bro. You didn't even wipe before you went into the ring. You know you was going to be back in the showers. Man, come on, man. You went from 6 rounds to 4 rounds to 6 to 8 to 10, back down to 6, 4, back to 8, 10, 12, 6, 10, 12, 8, 10, 10. I mean, come on, what was going on, big dog? For you to sit up here and say you ain't fought nobody. Who's he fought? Who's he fought? See, that's the one thing about DJ. He always cutting people off and getting all riled up, as we used to say back in the day. He get amped just to get you to say, okay, let me take a step back because he feels some type of way. But man, you're saying this guy ain't fought nobody as a coach. I know every boxing coach haven't stepped in the ring, but unfortunately for you, you have stepped in the ring. So therefore, it leaves you open for criticism when you're going to say Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. How are you, of all people, speaking so easily, speaking so recklessly on Bud's resume when you had no sense of direction as a professional fighter on where you was trying to go? Who was training you? Snoopy? Who? Your shadow? How much did you pay your shadow? Who was training you back then, bro? But appreciate you, Samar, for that $10 super chat, my brother. Carlos says, much as I'm waiting for this fight, I feel bad for Inoue versus Fulton because they deserve more attention. But unfortunately, it's the same week as Bud versus Spence. That's going to be a great fight as well. No doubt, that's going to be a great fight, but it's nowhere close to being the magnitude of this fight. Now, I do respect Inoue and I respect CBS. You know what I'm saying? They deserve the exposure, real talk. But when it comes down to prize fighting, popularity, you know what I'm saying? They fighting over in Japan and Crawford and Spence fighting in Vegas. It's two different platforms. It's two different fighters. Yeah, Inoue has been up in the top 3 for quite some time. And when it comes to the pound for pound list, look. I ain't trying to get off topic from this, right? But check this out now. Check this out. When you look at the body of work from the welterweight heading into this undisputed, and you take the body of work from Inoue heading to his undisputed, it's not even close, bro. It's not even close. He defeated the older Nonito Donaire, which I take nothing from the 4 division champion, multi-time world champion. You know what I'm saying? A fighter who won titles in 3 different eras. I take nothing from Donaire. I don't. But Nordine Obali wasn't this world beater. He fought Rashid Warren for a freaking vacant WBC title. And then he defended it a couple of times. And when Nonito Donaire fought Nordine Obali, Obali was coming off a long layoff, right? So he beat Obali, taking nothing away from Donaire, right? And Donaire goes in there and gives the belt. I'm just saying, he goes in there and comes off that belt to freaking Inoue, and Inoue and Tails go over there to where John Casimiro used to be at the WBO. He comes off the belt. Paul Butler picks it up, and Inoue beats Paul Butler. So when you want to talk about Inoue moving up and being top 3 on the pound for pound list based off his undisputed, and you take the weight that Bud Crawford and Errol Spence has and who they beat to get where they're at, man, come on, man. Come on, bro. I know he's moving up to super bantamweight and all that. I got mad respect for Inoue, real talk. But who he had to fight to get to that undisputed, I respect it. But yet the percentage, in his worth, in its entirety, it don't add up to this undisputed fight. That's why he's fighting in Japan, and for Cool Boy Steph's titles, and that's why we have this fight for undisputed, which is going to be history making. This is going to go down in the boxing annals over here. Real talk. This is going to go down in the boxing annals, y'all. And once again, I have much respect for Cool Boy Steph and Naoya Inoue. But him fighting Paul Butler is somewhere in the same category as Jamel Charlo fighting Brian Castano. Brian Castano did defeat Patrick Teixeira, but wasn't nobody looking for Patrick Teixeira. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody looking for Brian Castano. He was just the missing piece to the puzzle for undisputed for Jamel Charlo. So I hope those guys, go over there and Cool Boy Steph defend his title. I'm going for Cool Boy Steph, period. BIG, what's good? Yeah, Joe Lipsy. You know what I'm saying? Joe Lipsy was in the building, man. Stopped that man in 9 rounds. Hit him with a right hand. He hit him with a right hand, man. You know what I'm saying? And the referee said, I had enough. And Derrick James looked like he was about to run the other way anyway and get out the rope without the fight being over. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know how you can criticize somebody so much in this day and era, like so much that he's been able to accomplish that Derrick never came close to accomplishing. Even with his own fighter, he's seeing greatness around him. He is. He's riding that carpet extremely nice. But this is different. This undisputed is different than Jamel Charlo's. It's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different, brother. It's different. It's really, really different, man. Carlos said Derrick doesn't have good enough mouthpiece to make up for what Errol lacks. He ain't no Angel Garcia. I can only speak about my comparisons, without comparing him to another fighter, because Angel Garcia, that's his son he's talking about. When it comes to Derrick James, he is in no way, shape, or form related to Errol Spence, but he is related to Spence when it comes to being a professional boxer. Now, there's a lot of blood relatives, right, that really don't fuck with each other, right? It's a lot of blood relatives that's linked up due to people connecting and marrying people that's step this and step that. I see this as a step type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they bonded by blood when it comes to boxing as a professional boxing license. You know what I'm saying? But it's always that gap, that 2-year gap that you would never be close. You would never be close. You know what I'm saying? You'll never be close just because y'all have commonalities with one another. They'll never be close just because it's boxing. Because the respect ain't there. The connection ain't there. You heard of people, saying, yeah, I'm a part of the team, but I only see that person when I come in there and do work in his business. I don't know them on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? I don't know them on a personal level. To be honest, I don't think Spence hang out with Derrick James on a personal level. Real talk. I don't think he hang out. Has somebody seen Derrick James hanging out with Spence on a personal level? Have y'all seen that shit? Have you seen them have the camaraderie like they do over there in Omaha? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him do a community cookout. I haven't seen him do a send off. I haven't seen him just bringing people to the cookout and having fun. They're doing it different over there in Omaha. I haven't seen it, bro. I haven't seen, the brotherhood that I see when Crawford and his fighters are around. Even So Cold. Every time I seen So Cold with Terrence Crawford, it's been cool. Like you could tell it's a brotherhood there. Like every time he's with his people and they be wrestling and bullshitting around. I mean, that's like friendship. That's just respect. I don't see that out of Texas, when it comes to these two. That's all. That's all I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. There seems like he's more nervous than Errol. Like the spotlight is a little bit too bright because Derrick acting a bit out of character. I can't really agree with you on that, Carlos. I haven't seen it, bro. Not to say you're wrong, because you're just basing off observation. I don't see that. I just think he's always been talking reckless and really just be talking shit to blend in, bro. Like he's saying shit to basically bleed over and mimic or emulate what Spence's mindset is. If Spence is not respecting Crawford's resume, he seems to want to come out and say some dumb shit to basically mirror up to what Errol Spence is saying about Crawford's resume. If Errol Spence don't like this about Crawford's resume, Derrick James is gonna make sure he make a comment. That's why Terrence checked him about the freaking undisputed, because Derrick was trying to throw shade once again to Matteo did it, and Terrence had to check him on that. He really has this disdain, man, for Crawford at the end of the day. But I really had to just highlight something that I felt that was important, because truth be told, this ain't the smoke you want, man. Real talk. Crawford ain't the smoke you want. Based off what we know and what we've seen already, Crawford ain't the smoke you want, bro. They can talk about going on a smoking bud tour all they want there, Errol. You know damn well you sitting in that chair chilling. There's some questions that people are asking themselves. Like, how do you have time to relax and be on the phone like that and put those pictures out? Don't you want to give people the impression that this not going to be a one-sided fight? When you tell your photographer, like, man, make sure you only put out freaking pictures of me just, training all the way up to fight week. And then on fight week, you can put out some photos, some older photos that you took maybe about 2 or 3 weeks out. You can put them out because they wouldn't know the difference. Because now we're about to go over to Vegas. All right, they're going to be in Vegas. And now, we're going to start doing all the press shit and all that. So you can keep people tuned in during fight week with the pictures that you got. But you putting these pictures out here when people like myself and many others are questioning, is he on weight? How's he losing weight? Is he motivated? Does it seem like he's dialed in for this massacre? Are you dialed in for the massacre, bro? I catch Bernie the Boxer's live stream. He's always showing Bud love. Yeah, man, for sure, man. Like he's right there. He's in the fight camp. Bernie the Boxer been there since Bud was 7 years old. Come on now. Come on. If anybody can talk, talk on Bud from way back when to the way he's been able to transition through life up to this point as a man and as a professional fighter would be the ones that's been with him that long. But like I said before, a different type of blood links them up. They have a relationship when it comes to professional boxing. You know what I'm saying? They're locked in. They have a little lineage with one another as professional boxers. They was able to both get licenses to go in the ring and compete. But with that said, the selection process is what tells me that Derek should remain moot on talking about who has Terrence Crawford fought. Because if you take who he's fought and their record at the time he fought them, and we can't even go over to your resume, Derek. We can't even say, okay, well, let's pick these opponents in comparison to Crawford. We can't do that because Crawford doesn't have individuals on there at the point in time when you're at your career, when he's at his career, you can't even damn match him up. You can't even damn put them and line them up side by side and do a live stream to compare to how he's going to come up with a plan. You can't do it. It's impossible. You can't do it. You can't do it, bro. You can't do it. Just like Samar said, man, we got to get some Dookie wipes. Some Dookie wipes. We need to get some Dookie wipes, shawty. That's the only way we're going to clean this shit up. We got to get some Dookie wipes. You know what I'm saying? We got to get some Dookie wipes. Real. Unscented. For real. Maybe I worded incorrectly. What you just said, that's what I meant. I know how Derek is. I'm just talking in a sense of Bud, my bad. No, man, like, bro, talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, your opinion and what I read, and I just gonna give you my feedback. I mean, let me see I just took what you put, and bro, we just having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Don Vaughn, that all access and Spence camp seems so unauthentic, especially that part where say DJ keeps it honest with me. Hey, you know what? I, and a lot of people done. We peeped that out. You know what I'm saying? And even somebody else mentioned on the other live stream, you know what I'm saying? That he told me, hey, I need somebody to tell me when I'm wrong. Bro, you don't care. You don't care if DJ tell you something ain't wrong because you don't respect him as a fighter, first and foremost. So if you don't respect him as a fighter before you even sign him on, being that your dad came up with the freaking the bond. Your pops paid the bond for him to come in here and train you, dog. So therefore, it was never really a genuine, sincere connection from the beginning that Spence said, I want you. I select you. No, that was something that was force-fed to you. You know what I'm saying? He was doing volunteer work out the halfway house, bro. That's where Derek James came into the equation. You know what I'm saying? And man, dude, he don't respect you as a freaking fighter, first of all. And then as a coach, like you said, you never really liked the guy. You didn't want him to be your coach for 2 freaking years, dog. There was minimal conversation, casual conversation between you all. And that is extremely concerning to me. And when I comb through that nappy resume that you got, when I comb through that shit, when goddamn the bristles was snapping off, I said, God damn it, this is a new comb. I was trying to comb through the nappy resume that Derrick James had. I looked over at that stove and that hot grease was on that motherfucker. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the way it used to be when I was growing up, when they used to put that straightening comb. They put that straightening comb on that hair. Maybe that's what I should do. I should put that straightening comb over here and try to, you know, see if that kind of clear up some questions that I got with Derrick resume. Because this shit is just nappy nap. I can't comb through this shit. And it smells. Like, god damn, man. Bro, what's going on? True Media Today, USA Boxer. Salute, man. Salute the coach in the building. Say this will be a massacre for sure. Man, we can't wait, coach. You know what I'm saying? We can't wait for this. All I was saying, coach, you got time, man. Take a look at Derrick James' resume, coach. It's Monday. That's all I'm saying, man. But do it in a way that it has to be immediately after you have completed, you know, the first one. You know, you smoke one for the day. Make sure your body is relaxed. Because the reason why I'm saying that, I don't want you to overreact and be impulsive and crack a window out of something. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want you to think you've been fooled by Derrick James being qualified to give Spence advice on a game plan to come in here and beat Crawford July 29th. So make sure you relax and take a look at Derrick James' resume. Because this is the same man who was criticizing Crawford for fighting nobody. But this man was unsure, like a crackhead walking up to the goddamn clinic and say, I want to be clean from here on out. I just want to be clean. And they know what they dare for. They dare to get a couple of meals and then they back out on the street. Oh, that was good. Shit, I got to get my next crack. Shit, I got to get it. I mean, that's what I get from this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of deception. It's a lot of deception because I don't think they really have a good personal relationship. It's good for the cameras, but deep down inside, you know, behind all that shit, that's when it gets real personal. It's gonna get real personal when Spence be in a situation where he needs somebody that he respects talking to him in the corner, and Derrick James ain't gonna be it, because Derrick know he can't plan. Derrick James can't plan for a fighter that he know very little about. You're talking about a man who say he don't watch fight and film. He don't watch film. So how are you gonna plan, bro? Explain how you gonna plan for a fighter that's not going the distance. Huh? Yeah, they always talking about shit. You know what I'm saying? They always talking about stuff. But how are you gonna plan for a fighter? That's just me. How are you gonna plan for a fighter? When you talk about, let me give you another fun fact, right? Because you know, when I'm just finger walking through this social media shit looking for information. If you go for the last 7 opponents in the welterweight division and you add up the amount of rounds that was boxed. Now they're talking about Spence breaking down Crawford. If you find what it's called, what's that device has been around for a long time? It came along. What is it? Now it's electronic. A calculator. Yeah, a calculator. If you find a calculator, right, and put some numbers together, once again, just like I mentioned on the fighters' ages, they were saying that when Bud fought all these fighters, they was old and shit. And WCS broke that shit down and say, when you add up the ages, the years of the last 7 opponents, okay, since we just talking about Crawford coming into the welterweight division, they only separated by 5 years when it comes to the age. Now, another fun fact is when you talk about the rounds fought between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, right? The last 7 opponents, the rounds fought. Terrence Crawford has fought a total of 56 rounds, and Spence has fought a total of 65 rounds. Spence has fought more rounds in the last 7 opponents as a welterweight than Crawford has 56. Now, it's not a huge difference, But when you hear people talk about him knocking people out, breaking them, and eye collecting and all that, listen to me. Terrence Crawford's fought 56 rounds with his opponents as a welterweight, and Spence in the last 7 fights has fought 65 rounds. But he's breaking dudes off, huh? He's knocking them out. He's collecting eyes. He's doing all this shit. Man, that shit good banter. It's good banter for real. It's good when once you come off lunch break, you know what I'm saying, for smoking a good one outside, your mind relax. Some of you niggas just jump in here and say some of the dumbest shit. But all I'm saying is, where's all this breaking? Where's all the breaking, man? Should I rehash some information that's been out there too? Should I rehash some information? Do y'all want to hear that one little information based off his last opponent, Yordenis Ugas? This is the guy who beat Manny Pacquiao. This is the guy who they brag about collecting eyes, but he went 10 rounds with Yordenis Ugas now. He went the distance with Danny Garcia, and he went 10 rounds with Yordenis Ugas, and all they talk about is him collecting Ugas' eye. But they don't talk about 10 rounds when you're saying you're going to break Crawford's will. You went 10 rounds with a guy who came in there with 4 defeats. And you went into the 10th round. 1 round less than Kell Brook, who was coming off 8 months and 17 days from a bludgeon from Gennady Golovkin. But yet you're trying to sell this shit again, that Terrence Crawford, one of the toughest boxers in the sport today, top pound for pound, you're going to take him out. You're going to take him out. That's what you putting out here to the people. You're going to take Terrence Crawford out. He's less than the opposition than Yordenis Ugas. You're going to come into true form, better than we ever seen you before, with a top caliber elite fighter that you need to fight. That was never on the easy route there, Spence. He was never on the easy route. You're saying you're going to come in here and do him dirty? Do him worse than you did Danny Garcia and Yordenis Ugas? Stop the motherfucking cap. Stop the cap, dog. You ain't him, bro. You ain't him, bro. You're not him. Stop the cap, man. EJ dropped dap up there. Looks so cringe. Hey, you on point with that, Don? Soberly. I'm gonna have to start using that word like they use respectfully. I'm gonna have to say soberly, because I believe you're in a sober state when you saying that. Because I am. You know what I'm saying? Soberly. Yeah, I believe you. I seen it. I wish we could just replay the shit without them snatching the video down and say it can't be played. I think I saw Glass Joe on Derek resume as well. Now I know where his number one, his one win came from. Hey man, that resume is absolutely something that the Goodwill Fighting League, you know what I'm saying, the Salvation Army Fighting League will be extremely proud of. For real. You know, I was just driving by the Salvation Army the other day, and they say, hey, Mr. White, you know, thank you for your service. I say, no, thank you. But I wanted to talk to you about that. Supposedly, I'm hearing that you all are basically inducting some fighters into the Salvation Army Hall of Fame. Is that something new? They say, yeah. We've been talking, and our first fighter is supposed to be this guy out of Texas, Derek James, because his resume fits the Salvation Army. I say, I know him. I just did a live the other day. Wow. Coincidence. I knew I was here for a purpose. They say, yeah, that's who we're going to induct. We're going to grab him a jacket off the clearance rack. And, you know, it's the Salvation Army. So, yeah, we're going to grab a jacket. And then we're going to have a ceremony out there in the parking lot. Okay. Don't let the word out, though. I know you over there on that YouTube stuff, but don't let the word out. Okay. But he's going to be our first inductee. Soberly. I say that soberly. Stop, man. How dare you say this man ain't fought nobody, DJ? Man, you better stop it. You better stop it soberly. Shit, dog. Nigga, you better stop it. Oh my God. Salute WCS in the chat. Your old Porter's user. Appreciate it, QT. Salute to you, bro. In the building, man. Thanks for the people who showed up. Arrow gonna be relaxed, all right, on that canvas. Hey man, Derrick James was up here talking about Crawford ain't fought nobody, dog. What was he thinking, man? Why didn't you get with an attorney first so they can goddamn conceal your documents? They can seal that shit so it's not accessible to the public, man. Did you think that was important, or you just didn't give a damn? Bro, did you think back on your resume? Your last fight was a 6th rounder, bro. And you're talking about Crawford ain't fought nobody, dog. Oh my God. Oh my God. We gotta goddamn get that Dookie Whites. We're gonna combine the aerosexual fun with the Dookie White fun. And that in itself, man, we're gonna put one white in the bag. We're gonna continue to build up this sack bag. You know what I'm saying? This sack lunch bag with freaking items. You know what I'm saying? Care package items for real. Health and comfort amenities. I think Dookie Wipes will be absolutely, man, to basically semi-sanitize the motherfuckers that's gonna be crying and having snot all on their hand, coughing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just upset and angry. DJ versus Lipsy show DJ ain't got the answers. Hey, listen, QT. Listen, bro. That was the first time. You know what I'm saying? They about to head back over to the same location, same grid coordinates. The coordinates going to be a little bit down the street, but still going to be in the same grid footprint. You know what I'm saying? He don't have a good track record when he stepped over there. That's why he been making such a big stink out of this Vegas shit. You know what I'm saying? He got bad memories there, QT. He don't want to travel back over there. He wanted to be in his hometown. But Crawford was like, hell no. There's no way I'm fighting over there in Texas. You're going to have to come on out of there. You know what I'm saying? You got to come up out of there. Now close the gate behind you. You got to come in a different yard this time. You got to come over here to Vegas. We got to make this money. And plus, we got to take you out your comfort zone. Jared Jones can't help you this time, nigga. Now he ain't going to be able to help you. Hey, look, Jared Jones couldn't even put up enough money to get Crawford to come over there and have that fight in Texas. And plus, when it comes down to the money aspect, the ticket sales, Texas ain't it. I can see if the Dallas Cowboys was 10 times Super Bowl champions. Much appreciated to those who hit the like button. We ain't all got to agree, but respect the grind. No doubt, man. Talk that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, Blunts, what it do, man, soberly. Do you see Errol finally leaving the division after this fight? Because Bud most likely moves up to 154. I don't see a rematch happening. And then look, when it comes to these belts, right? Bud has already had a history of winning the undisputed titles and vacating them, okay? As we so witnessed back in 2017. As we so witnessed when he fought Felix Diaz, and then he fought Julius Ndongo. Both of these guys, you know, I believe Crawford had the WBC and the WBO, and Julius Ndongo had the WBA and the IBF. And he went in there and unified for undisputed, dispersing of Julius Ndongo in the 3rd round. Now, with that win, he then vacated and moved up. And this particular scenario right here is somewhat similar, but we all know that Jermell Charlo is still over there, you know, just lounging out with the biggest smile on his face, with both his hands behind his head, looking up at the ceiling. I did it. I got the Canelo sweepstakes. I did it. See, Jermell does not really have his eyes on Crawford. And what I don't like about Jermell, even though I don't care about his money, and he's finally being the lamb that's being sent to slaughter up the Canelo, I don't like it because he's about to do the very same thing that he was criticizing Crawford for, their brother. And the reason why I'm mentioning it without getting straight to the point is because Terrence Crawford really doesn't have a a a a, a clear-cut pathway to vacate the belts and move up to 54 and continue to fight for a championship. But he has options. Those options are they have a rematch clause. So I don't know if Errol Spence is going to implement the rematch clause, nor do what I believe that he would try to fight a second fight at welterweight, knowing he has to cut down and weight again. You know, you're talking about July, August, September, October, November, December. So in between a 5-month window, they're gonna have to schedule another fight. Now that's a positive for Spence because he can't stay out the ring that long. You know, he gets distracted and everything. He put on that weight. Can he maintain the step in there 147 again? Or will he move up to 154? For Crawford, he doesn't show any signs at his age, 35 years of age, of pretty much having a hard time making weight at 147. So it all depends. Now, what I have heard, of course, is that Boots and them is saying, oh man, they ain't gonna do this, they ain't gonna do that, they gotta come off that belt and everything. Okay, that's one of the reasons why they went to the IBF, because the IBF does mandate their mandatories. They do, and they are strict about their mandatories. That's one thing the IBF does, man. They make sure these fighters, you know, walk it out. So recently they was hyping it up, saying that after this fight, they're going to be fighting the second rematch without the IBF. I mean, okay, it sounds good and all that, but me, I'm like this. Like I tell anybody, the fighter that I support heavy, I don't want them to go in there and fight a fighter that's not 100%. So Bud Crawford chose to fight. If Errol Spence is not going to reenact his rematch and go to 154, if Bud chose to stay here and fight Boots, I will watch that fight. I will watch that fight, because why not give a young lion a shot? Seriously, why not give a young lion Boots, who's next in line, a new guard, you know, coming into the welterweight division? And when I say coming over to the welterweight division, I'm talking about getting his shot at a championship. I'm hoping Boots is able to fight for the championship instead of it being hand delivered. You understand? I hope he's able, because at this point, he doesn't need any gifts. I hope he's able to fight for the championship and it not be hand delivered. That's all I'm saying. I would like to see that fight. And they say, you know, they're going to be there. They're going to be there. You know, they're going to make sure they enforce their mandatory with the IBF. And in all actuality, they should enforce it. They should. Team Ennis should enforce the IBF, whoever the undisputed, whether it be Crawford or Spence. Why go through all this trouble to get where you're supposed to be, going the IBF route? Because they knew that's the easiest route. They knew it's the easiest route, and not enforce it. Yeah, they should enforce it. But boxing is political, and you know, I'm not sure if they understand that. Hey, they can make some things. They can finagle their way and finesse around that somehow, some way. I don't know, but the IBF is strict now, man. Showtime, Showbox, Paramount, Viacom, BS got to stop the cap. Only thing Spence breaks is cognac bottles. Damn, not the cognac bottles. Shit. Monty King Boxer, salute to your brother. Big shout out to Ron in the building. What's good with it, bro? Be respectful on deck. Salute. Crawford is way better than Spence. That we know. That we know, but we want him to show. You know what I'm saying? We want him to show it, because it's a lot of naysayers out here that's just going along with the get along. No, man. They acting like, you know, look, I said and I say it again, right? They keep on putting this information out there. Like, dude, he went 12 with Danny and 10 with Ugas, but you have these aerosexuals out here saying that all of a sudden, just because Spencer he's gonna break him, they actually believe Crawford gives off that vibe. Like, what type of weakness have you seen that Bud gives you the impression that he's a chump? Like, who gave you that when he crossed Derrick James? Who has gave you that when he dog walked Igis Kavalaskis? Who gave you that when he pulled up on Jose Benavidez in the gym? Who gave you the impression this nigga's a chump, dog? Who, when, where, who gave that impression to say, Spence of all people, he's the guy. He is the guy, y'all. Spence is the guy to show us what we all know to be true. Okay, look, like I said about Ennis, you know, his people say, okay, he got levels and all. Okay, cool. But when it comes to this breaking and power and all this shit, if you are finding opposition that is considered lower tier than Bud Crawford, why aren't you showing this break 'em type destruction? Why aren't you giving us a clear cut indication that you are one of the most dangerous fighters when it comes to you and Bud Crawford? You got people still talking about your Yorkers Gamboa, bro. You still got people talking about this shit. Who can you take off your resume, man? You didn't break Sean Porter. Did Sean Porter not have two eyes when you fought him? I mean, come on, man. When you landed the shot, the clean shot, bro, Sean Porter's right glove barely tapped the canvas for a knockdown. Barely. Take that away, and what could have happened? You could have lost. It could have been a draw. That wouldn't have looked good. You know, Derrick James got two of his premier fighters with draws on their record. You know what I'm saying? They got some dirty draws on there. Do the goddamn laundry. That wouldn't have looked good. But all this breaking, bro. Y'all running with Smoke the Bud tour. And just a lot of shit ain't adding up, bro. Are y'all going in here to break a motherfucker or smoke a motherfucker? Like, which one is it? Y'all breaking or smoking? Because in order for you to break it, you need to put away the smoking. But just like my thumbnail say, I don't think y'all ready for that other smoke. I don't think y'all looking forward to the other smoke. What's funny is people really believe Crawford's resume is weak. But the thing they don't get is sanctioning bodies wanting him to lose. That's why he fought world-ranked opponents. Hey, man, goddamn split those pages apart, man, and goddamn show them where the curriculum coming from there, Ron. You know what I'm saying? Teach one. You know what I'm saying, Ron? Let them know. Let them know what's inside the damn chapters, man. Educate is always first and foremost, man. Educate. Love humanity. I don't see it. I still think he wants Canelo at 160. I see Errol jumping past 154 because once Bud wins undisputed, he will move up to 154. I don't see Canelo fighting at no 160, Carlos. I don't see it. I think, for sure, if Jermell Charlo is going to 168 to fight Canelo has already made it perfectly clear. He has people coming to fight him. So why is he going to accommodate Spence to move up just 2 weight classes? Why? Spence is going to have to come up to 168, man. Canelo would be a fool knowing that he ain't fought at 160 in a minute. It will have to be a catch weight. And how is Spence going to benefit fighting Canelo at a catch weight? He go in there and beat Jermell Charlo, and he's still the super middleweight undisputed. So how is Spence going to benefit for trying to fight a championship fight? Oh, my bad. It's just for the money. I get it. It's for the money. I got it, Carlos. You know what I'm saying? It's just for the money. Spence is in it for the money with Canelo. So really, like you said, if it's at a catch weight and it's a non-title fight, he's just doing it for the money. He's just doing it for the money, bro. Instead of strap season, it's Dookie wife season. Shit. It's Dookie wife season, dog, with a bologna sandwich and a Capri Sun and an apple slice of that bitch. And one Dookie wipe. Soberly. Hey, one Dookie wipe soberly, dog. Strap season finally hit Errol Spence in the butt because Crawford about to take them straps. Hey man, it's always good to damn lighten the load. You know what I'm saying? He said he wanted to take the easy route. He did, knowing damn well that monster was at the end. Why would you torture yourself like that? Tyrese on deck. What's good? Bro, you be cooking this topic. You and Mark Nash on a daily. Salute to you, Tyrese. Appreciate you pulling up, bro. Appreciate you pulling up as always. Big shout out to you, brother. I would definitely tune in to Boots versus Bud. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see that fight. I'd like to see that fight, man. I don't know what people thinking about. I don't know why the new age boxing fans, I don't even want to call them casuals, because casuals at least have some type of direction, some type of level of education when it comes to boxing. But this new era, I think they are temporaries. Like I put that out there a while back about temporaries. Temporaries are individuals that follow the sport every now and then. And their depth of knowledge is very, very shallow. So they'll come in and jump in a conversation and they'll hear something and run with it. That's what temporaries are. They're not really staying close to the situation. And that's what I get with these people who will say, well, Spencer's gonna do this, Spencer's gonna do that. What on his resume proves that what you're saying? On his resume, what proves it? Well, how are you just saying he's gonna stop Crawford? And he went 10 rounds with Ugas. And then when you compare Crawford and Ugas together, you will always say Crawford is a better fighter, though. Come on, man. It ain't rocket scientists. We're not in a laboratory doing a control study. We ain't handing out placebos to get a reaction. Anybody who put Crawford in there with Ugas, they say, okay, Crawford's a better fighter. But yet, Ugas, who went in there with 4 losses, he went 10 rounds with freaking Errol Spence. But yet, y'all talking about Errol's going to come in here and destroy Crawford? Come on, bro. I can identify with the boxer as being sincere in his or her efforts to want a challenge, and the other boxer brings distractions from facing them. I'm always rolling with the boxer who's forthright. Man, talk that shit, Ron. God damn, shawty. Let me read that again. Let me reread that again. You know what I'm saying? Let me refresh this comment. Take it down, put it back up. I can identify with the boxer as being sincere in his or her efforts to want a challenge. And the other boxer brings distraction from facing them. I'm always rolling with the boxer who's forthright. That's some hot grease right there. That's some hot grease, man. Well said. Well said, goddammit. Well said. Well said. Exactly when they think Crawford a slave and also a buck that can be broken, the illusion is real. See, during the whole live, I haven't really mentioned all the top ranked Toby, because what I was trying to drive home their Modern King Boxing is just to emphasize how the coach has been on record for criticizing Bud Crawford's resume, knowing damn well that the jacket that he wears as a coach who was formerly a professional fighter doesn't leave him any room for criticism, goddammit. It doesn't leave him any room for criticism when you're talking about he ain't fought nobody. It leaves you zero. I'm talking about not even one, just one crack, one fracture. Not one fracture. You can't come in on Terrence Crawford resume. As a coach, no, not one fracture, bro. The way your resume look, not one fracture. Not one pinhole. No Mercy, July 29th. Ain't nothing gonna be weak from Crawford that day. Skills pay the bills on display at the fish fry. Who want a fish sub? Ain't that what they said, bro? Ain't that what Charlo said about Deontay Wilder? Skills pay the bills, right? But I must chime in and highlight the comment that somehow, some way, Mr. Teofimo Lopez took the opportunity to be an opportunist. I have to say that, Tio, I didn't agree with you on this one. I don't know why you're playing. I know you're showing love to Errol Spence because he was born over there in the NY area. Okay. Just like $1 million worth of game was biased too. But Tio told Errol that in this case, he believes that will is going to outdo skills. And you know, Tio, yeah, I got mad love for you, but you are absolutely from this side, I disagree. I know you're trying to finesse the situation. You came in there to have your face, coming off that win, 2-division champion. You did a lot at your age. Real talk. I got respect for T.O., but one thing I'll tell people, he is a very, very mature master manipulator when it comes to his psychological warfare. People need to take that shit serious on how he just shows up and he picks and chooses when to put himself in the spotlight. And motherfuckers take it for granted and want to talk about mental this, mental that, psychological this. Yeah, you should play that into effect, but you should take it more so serious and don't just brush it off like he's just talking shit. He told Errol that he believes Errol Spence's will is going to outdo skill. And I'm saying to myself, T.O., do you not believe that Crawford has will? What are you talking about? Crawford has will, dog. Oh, dude, where are y'all getting this shit from? I can't look. After I get off this live, I'm gonna go back over there and I'm going to pedal my way through the different alleyways of the YTC and try to find a picture where Crawford is sitting down outside of wearing a glove on his left and right hand with sweat, flowing off his freaking face, being in a gym environment and locked in for this training. I'm trying my best to find him just chilling, eating a Twinkie, a freaking cinnamon roll, ice cream, sweet potato pie, strawberries with, white premium fudge, all that shit. I'm trying my best to find a photo of him just chilling, knowing that he only has 2 weeks remaining for training until he flies in to Vegas. Now, they probably get to Vegas next week because he's been running in elevation. So Vegas is not going to do nothing for Crawford. Like they're probably going to get there Monday. I'm thinking not Monday of next week. But I'm just saying, they decide to come in there next weekend. But from my understanding, they're probably going to be there Monday in Vegas. They're going to be in there Monday, the earliest. So it's going to be interesting because now you have the aerosexuals that was their eyes was beaming. Oh, look how big Errol is standing next to Crawford. Let's see what your thoughts are when you see him weigh in now. You know what I'm saying? People talking about what he's going to rehydrate up to and all this shit. Listen, bro, ain't nobody worrying about that shit. Do you know how big Jeff Horn was? Jeff Horn was a big dude. Do you know how big Jeff Horn was when he fought Crawford? Do you know how tall Benavidez was? Come on, man. Shout out to In Conquest 2 with a $2 super chat on deck in the building. Much appreciated, my brother. Salute to the donating and supporting World Combat Sports, man. I appreciate you. Keep on and continue to support and pass the word. And big shout out to everyone that's been on deck. We got to do better. I watched the rankings. Hey man, when you say we, that we is so broad, man. Because the we may have somebody that's in here that's pretending like they're part of the we, but they're not. They just eavesdropping and being nosy. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about you trying to get a collective group, there, Morning King, that's gonna be extremely difficult, my brother, because you have so many people that doesn't follow boxing the way you do. So they're not gonna take it serious, bro. They're not gonna take it as serious. Didn't realize I wrote 160. I meant 168. It's all good, man. You know, shit. This ain't no perfect motherfucking channel where you got to see God before you walk in this bitch. God, please, can I be granted permission for this live stream? My membership is paid. What? Yeah, I've been a member for a total of 16 years. Yeah. There's no prerequisite like that. Okay, since you've been a member for 16 years, you may proceed forward. Morning King, boss, salute. I agree. I'm only talking in the sense of getting the bag. It would definitely be the highest paid fight. I'm looking forward to do great numbers, man. That was stuck in my head for several years. Glad I finally voiced it. Appreciate WCS. It's the topic you bring. Yeah, man, that shit was fire, man. Well said. That shit was absolutely a classic. It's fire. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? That was out the damn index into the chapters and then presented to the public. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. RMR 123. What's good with it, bro? Salute to you. Good to see you in the chat. Spin fans don't see a problem with him being the same weight the whole career. No, they don't see a problem with it because the first thing they want to do is compare them to other greats who have did the same thing, so to speak. But you know, look, you don't have to go to the greats there, Ray, right? Gennady Golovkin still is one of those people, but he's not cool enough. They don't want to compare Gennady. Look, Gennady only has one loss, but he's not cool enough. You know what I'm saying? He's not cool enough now. Gennady is the one that wanted to stay at middleweight and break all these records and become one of the greatest. And finally, Canelo, after fighting 8 fights from the rematch, whatever it was, he said, "Hey, Gennady, my friend, it's your turn. You're up next, my friend. I kept my promise like I did Abner Yildirim. It's your turn. We got to do a trilogy, my friend." And then he moved up to 168 for one of the most boringest freaking fights I've seen in a while. But Gennady Golovkin was one of those guys who wanted to be the best 160-pound middleweight ever. But they would never use him as a reference. They always go to the old school vets, man, the OGs. We seen the Wheel of Villa just a couple of days ago. Brain trauma is real. Well, you have to look at it this way. It is a part of boxing. And also we seen David Morrell go in there and bludgeoned his opposition to the point where they went to the hospital too. So in one setting, we have a referees that let the fight go on and allow the fighters to sustain punishment. And then you have referees who prematurely step in and stop a fight when the other fighter was taking punishment and you know, he was getting punished. They stopped the fighter who was the delegator of the punishment. It'll never be consistency in this sport, bro. Especially when money involved. And they don't have a problem with him having 2 fights and 4 years. It's crazy. Hey, they don't. Look, they don't, man. You know what I'm saying? The inactivity, how many fights, all they doing is going off. Look, all they doing is going off the accolades that he achieved and pretty much what he's been able to do off the accident. And hearing Spence say, well, if I was able to survive a car accident, no, you can't use that mentality because you're not being real with the people. You know what I'm saying? Your body wasn't encased with protection. So therefore you had damage that no one can see. You have internal damage that's blind to those from the outside looking in. You have internal damage. You know it. If you didn't have internal damage, your speech wouldn't have changed the way it did. That's all I'm saying. I'm not here to get depth. I was here to speak primarily about Derrick James and his audacity to say that no one ain't fought nobody. Looking at his resume, stop it. It's just unbelievable. The pendulum swings, yes sir. Any other fights that only had 2 fights in 4 years wouldn't be pound for pound. Man, talk your shit, man. God damn, boy, y'all on fire. I agree. Who would be talking like this, but you know how it is, bro. You know how it is, man. He's with the PBC. You know what I'm saying? He was the face that they had up there for a while until Tank took over. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a weird dynamic. It's a weird dynamic. For real. Because, excuse me. Because the wild part about it is that if you look at what Jamel Charlo was able to do, and him defeating Jason Rosario, and who Jason Rosario defeated, and J-Rock, and who J-Rock defeated, and Jerry Hurd, you trying to tell me the track record that Spence had when he was collecting titles, he can fuck with that? You trying to tell me he can fuck with that right there? Because really, he hadn't even became undisputed. He's just unified. But really, when you think about the common opponent and what they've done, and you look at Jamel Charlo defeating who he defeated, come on, man. Something ain't right. It just ain't right, shawty. Jamel Charlo ain't came close to the freaking pound for pound list until people was like, oh, okay. Now he finally did it. But why wasn't he there when he was unified, though? Why wasn't he on the pound for pound list when he was unified? Do a Kell Brook add up to the track record of those unified titles that Mel picked up? I don't know. I know your Dennis Ugas, you can scratch him off. So now we just got Kell Brook and Sean Porter to deal with. Y'all help me. Y'all riddle me that. Losing his title. I mean, he got the title from Devin Alexander. Okay, cool. Lose the title to Kell Brook and then fight for a vacant title, WBC title against Danny Garcia. But yet when Jamel Charlo fought, I mean, come on now. Shit don't stop. It won't stop, can't stop, man. Who did it better? We don't know because he ain't beat Crawford. He ain't became undisputed yet. But Mel Charlo did. Why was he never on the list? Why was he never on the list? The man got his title back from Tony Harrison. You know what I'm saying? He's 2-0 in rematches. He's 2-0. Both stoppages. That wasn't enough. And I'm not a Charlo fan either. I'm just kicking some logistics. Jeff Horn looked like a damn rugby player. Yeah, the big Aussie, bro. Spence didn't fight Benavidez for a reason. Man, Benavidez was no joke, man. Even when Crawford stepped over there and pulled up to his workout, man, Crawford was on some savage time. Crawford and his team was on that savage time, bro. He was talking about the man's mama. Crawford was on that savage time. Benavidez pushed him and Crawford tried to land that right hand on him. Shit. When they moved up, it get tougher, but Bud proved he wins moving up. He does, man. Proper decision making. How are you up here fighting, these tough oppositions in your backyard? Why? How are you going here to fighting these bigger opponents, man? These undefeated opponents, and they're giving you no love on these undefeated opponents. You're defending titles. You're defending freaking titles now. You're defending championships. You're not afraid to go around your people and have a tough fight in your backyard so you don't get recognition. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the blessings from the casuals and temporaries. I guess they don't matter, bro. You know what I'm saying? The haters aren't willing to turn over a new leaf and say, you know what? I just been hating for no reason. This dude is legitimate, great of this era. You know what I'm saying? He's a legitimate great, man. He's one of the best. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. We do respect your 3 division. But I can tell you like this, Grant, when he go in here July 29th and goddamn destroy Spence, I guarantee you just what you put in the fucking chat, they're gonna say, well, you know, we seeing what a person put in your chat, and he said that inactivity played a huge role, man. Let's be honest. Man, I don't want to hear none of that. Because look, Spence has been on record going into this Crawford fight. Hey man, I've been inactive plenty times before, man. It's no different. I've been inactive all the time, man. I ain't care. I don't care, man. I've been inactive before, man. It's no different, man. I'm good. No broken bones. I'm a savage, man. You know, I got ejected out the car and didn't break a bone, man. Hey, I can't be stopped, won't be. You know what I'm saying? That's his mentality. Okay. Just don't come back after the fight talking about inactivity. Some of these Spence fans gonna need therapy after the fight because PTSD is real. Hey, XO, I'm glad you mentioned that because we've already put resources into play there, XO. We have the bag lunch, and now we have included Dookie wipes. You know what I'm saying? So they can clean themselves up because there's gonna be a lot of fans that's they're just losing themselves after the fight. They're gonna be out here crying, emotional. We already set in place a reaction team, a triage. First responders is gonna be on deck there, XO. We're gonna give them that premium bologna. That premium, you know what that premium bologna that's not cooked in the oven there, XO. We're gonna give them the premium bologna. The shit that got a little green specks and stuff on it that's been sitting in the fridge longer, and the expiration date was about 4 or 5 months ago. I mean, they ain't gonna never know the difference. And we're gonna put that damn government cheese. You know how the government cheese digests? That shit take at least about 2 to 3 months. We're gonna give them that type of cheese, man. And white bread. We got the shit on tap, man. I'm not going through the whole deal, but we got the relief fund rather, set up, and we're gonna give them some nice bag lunches, bro. That's gonna take care of that PTSD for real. It's some type of chemical in that government cheese that's gonna put them in like a calmer state to forget shit. Why? Because it's been said that diarrhea is one of the side effects of that bologna and government cheese. So that's the whole thing. We're gonna do a detox, XO. We're gonna detox that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get them detox, and with the detox, all that PTSD is just gonna flow out into the goddamn toilet, and we're gonna do a detox. They're gonna get dehydrated, and then they can sip on that Capri Sun, and they'll be normal again. That's the plan. I don't know how good it's gonna work over in Vegas, but that's the plan with that bologna and government cheese. Now we got that shit in play. Yeah, if you're a boxer, you live and breathe. Is that one thing I respect about Floyd? See, they look, Mama King. They what you say about Floyd, it's like the shit, because you know Crawford is not flashy and fly like Floyd, but his mentality is the same. You know, like these other fighters that take the sport very seriously. Why don't Bud Crawford get the same praise? You know what I'm saying? Adulations. Because Floyd used to be running at 2:30, 3 o'clock, whatever, when people sleeping. He'd be out on a run. And Bud Crawford, you see him always maintain a healthy living and taking the sport serious. But in this equation, when you divide Crawford, Spence, you have individuals that's more so inclined to praise the mistakes that Spence has made outside of the ring that's ultimately going to affect him inside the ring come July 29th. They willing to praise him for it, but yet Crawford has emulated what you just said about Floyd, and they continue to make it personal. They continue to talk shit. They continue to make it about other shit. That's what I don't understand. They just don't like Crawford for some reason. When I first seen Crawford, he gave me the feeling Floyd gave me. That's what's up. Every time I seen Crawford, man, he been cool people, man. Never really carried on legitimate conversation with him except the interview. But as a person, being able to take a picture with one of the greats of this era, you know what I'm saying? He's on his way out the door in so many years. I don't know. He's 35 years old. He has a birthday in September. So um, you know, he's preserved his body the right way. I don't know how long he has left in the sport, but potentially, based off his words, he's going to seek out some type of championship status, in the 154-pound division. You know what I'm saying? You can see, you can just see how seriously Crawford takes boxing. I really started noticing him around the Gamboa win. Yeah, man, it's amazing how blind they truly are, man. Like you're talking about people who may potentially have a full-time job and people depend on them. But yet they leave that workplace and come in here in the YTC and act like they're the ones who's going through a probationary period. They're the interns when it comes to this boxing shit, and they want to act like they're not competent enough to retain information. They will refuse to mention how many times Crawford knocked down Gamboa during that fight. And they would just take it to one sticking point. That sticking point is, oh man, Gamboa hurt him during the fight. They act like they're not even competent enough to remember how many times Crawford dropped that man in that fight. Come on, how can you live your personal life, but yet get on the YTC and act like you straight up out of the daycare, dog? You know what I'm saying? You straight up out the daycare. For real. Throw Aaron Derrick in the sack lunch with the Dookie wipes. For real, man. We got the triage set up, bro. You know what I'm saying, Carly? We got the triage set up, bro. We got that. I take that back. I caught myself. We got that premium. We got that premium bologna, dog. We got that premium bologna for you. The shit that we got out the back of the trunk during the summertime, it wasn't even refrigerated, but we still gonna use it for Vegas bologna. For real. Crawford know the danger in the ring. He like a tiger. Folks be thinking I'm lying, but that's what I see, a boxer who can take you out with both hands. He can, man. He's a very versatile, dangerous striker. I agree, Ron. He's a very versatile, dangerous striker. What makes a striker dangerous? The tools that he uses. You know what I'm saying? The more tools, the better, right? So they complain about him not using his tools up to this point, him not putting all these tools on display. But guess what? Isn't that extremely intelligent? Doesn't that bleed over to his boxing IQ to be able to go in here and definitively beat his opposition and leave? I'm talking about beat his opposition and not take it to the final bell in the welterweight division, to be considered this dominant fighter who knows how to close out the show. Know what else get me? That they say he got all his power, but gets buckled every fight and don't stop anyone. Uga still want to fight. He did, man. And he did. Look, it's always going to be that way for Bud for some reason, man. They find him as an easy target, bro. They find him as an easy target. It's crazy. And look, they can keep on talking. They can keep on talking, man. They can keep on talking because that clock ain't going to stop. That clock is not going to stop, bro. They can keep on talking all they want to my, oh man, he's chinny. I see all these, like, look, I seen people giving the keys to victory, so to speak. And you niggas that's out here giving keys to victory, you need to stop. You need to fucking stop. I don't know where you went to the damn to get your keys made for that shit, but you need a refund. Your keys to victory isn't it. Y'all continue to act like Crawford's never seen a jab. Also, you continue to believe that Crawford's chin is the weakest chin, but yet he's undefeated with 39 victories. You're not making sense, bro. Too ugly to be a stripper. They don't give Bud no praise like they compare her to Rolly Orion. I can't say to that extreme because check this out. Crawford's name is the most popular topic on the YTC. You know what I'm saying? One of the primary nesting beds for media dissemination, regardless of what you're talking about. Since we're talking about boxing, yes, this is extremely saturated over here with boxing talk. But what I will say is that when you talk about Ryan Garcia and Rolly, their name only populate for a brief moment, and then it goes back into the shadows, and no one's really talking about it. It becomes quiescent. As in Bud Crawford's freaking name, it stays active out here. It continues to send out that beacon. You know, you have people talking about it all the time, including myself. You know, his name continued to be one of the hottest topics on the YTC. So I think he gets more praise in a way that people understand his name is a big topic out here in the YTC. And he is one of the great fighters of this era. But, you know, with Ryan Garcia and Rolly, they become popular when it's time for them to step out of the shadows into the ring. That's when their name become popular, in my opinion. And people show them love. Okay, Ryan got a fight, Rolly got a fight. Okay. But when that fight is over, it's gone. I mean, come on, they just did one of the largest numbers, one of the biggest fights with the largest numbers, Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. But nobody's talking about that. Why? Because this fight is on deck. This fight is on deck, man. Appreciate Bud while he's here, a generational talent. Yes, sir, I agree. If Ugas' eye didn't get messed up early, it would have been a split decision. Hey, man, Ugas was doing his thing in there, dog. Just like Porter was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Danny Garcia wasn't there to win. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't there to win. They had like Spence never got hurt. Oh, Spence got hurt. They know he got hurt. But with those guys, they don't really want to talk about it, man. I'm seriously scared for them, OG, because they might need to be on suicide watch because they are emotionally attached. Hey, Exo, you ain't hearing me, bro. That bologna, when it started, you know, when it sits in that heat for a little bit, you know, bologna is made of variables, a lot of freaking components of the pork. You know what I'm saying? A lot of like little minerals that they got in there when that shit start to go bad. You know what I'm saying? And the adverse reaction that the body has to that bologna, they'll be all right, dog. It ain't too much. Look, it ain't too much damn moments that they're gonna have to be attached to when you talking about suicide watch, because they're gonna be on the fucking toilet there, XO. That's the whole purpose. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take them out of the streets into the damn community bathrooms so they can shit the rest of the evening. And when they come out, they're just gonna be happy to be a part of something. They can say, "Oh, what the fuck I was thinking before I went in there." They're gonna be so dehydrated, bro. They say, "Hey, where's all those people that was handing out motherfucking sack lunches? I need another sack lunch. I'm so fucking hungry. God damn it. I don't know if it was the beer or that bologna sandwich I ate." They ain't gonna know what the fuck, dog. That bologna sandwich is gonna put them under, bro. It's gonna take their mind off. They're gonna be in the bathroom worshiping that porcelain god. For real, fucking along. Hey, we're gonna hook it up, bro. That's the goddamn relief package. Aerosexual relief package, man. We got them. We got them, man. We're gonna hook it up. Shout out to Boxing Fan Talk on deck. Salute to you, bro. Fit and ready for duty, sir. No doubt, man. Salute to you. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more in the building. 39-0, but Spence gonna run him down. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're looking at, bro. I can't call it. I can't call it, man. Boxing, you don't want to know what happened to Willie Lump. I get a kick out of aerosexuals. They really believe in Spence because of the fanboy in them. Hey, man, I've been on here for about 2.5 with y'all, man. Appreciate y'all kicking it. Remember to look at the damn, thumbnail. That's real, man. Ain't the smoke you want. They don't want the smoke, but it was good to then cook some Hot Grease Chronicles with y'all, man. And keep the stove hot. We're gonna be heading on like 19 days, 19 days heading into this July 29th. Hey, people lives gonna change. You know what I'm saying? People lives gonna change. And I appreciate the ones who donate to the channel for the Aerosexual Relief Fund, and also the Dookie White Fund is gonna be contributed to cleaning up what we've been able to experience in the last several years with this fight. Okay? I appreciate y'all teamwork. Thank you for your support. Y'all continue to tune in and hit the sub button, and I'm out.